Locked in. The past few months, I've been working for the Clover School, not as an employee, rather as more of a contract gardener. The school didn't have anyone on staff that took care of their gardens, so Pam, the school's director, would call me whenever she needed any gardening work done, be it weeding, mulching, planting, pruning, or whatever else. Every week or so she would call me, and I would come out and make the gardens look nice. The kids would come out at lunch and bother me while I worked, asking me questions about what I'm doing or running around, trampling the flowers I'd just planted in. The Clover School was definitely a lively place to work. Spring break had just arrived, and all the students and staff were away from the school. Pam called me, asking if I could come by to fill up the courtyard with spring annuals. She wanted the school to look more colorful when everyone came back from their break. However, there was a catch. Pam told me that because the school was closed, the security guard would have to let me in, and that the courtyard would have to remain locked while I worked so that no one who isn't supposed to be there could trespass. I told her that I have no problem with that. We discussed what kind of flowers she wanted and made arrangements to have all the flowers and mulch delivered directly to the school before I showed up. I arrive on the dot, parking right in front of the gate to the courtyard. Chuck, the security guard, was already there waiting for me. I step out of the van and wave to him. "How ya doing, Chuck?" "Fine," he replies. "Would be better if I didn't have to come out here on what's supposed to be my day off. At least all you gotta do is let me in and out. I'm the one who actually has to work all day." He unlocks the gate and pushes it open. I open the trunk of my van and start unloading my equipment. There's a lot to carry. I open my eyes and see Chuck standing over me. "Come on, get up. It's time to go," he says. I sit up and look around, disoriented. There isn't much light to see by. "What time is it?" "Is it morning already?" I ask. "No," he says, "it's 6 p.m. I must have passed out." "Sleeping on the job, huh?" I stand up and look around. "No way, look around, Chuck. I told you I would finish." He looks around. "Yeah, you did good. Now let's get out of here." I walk over to my pile of tools and look at them. My shovel is broken in half. I look down at my hand and see the line across it where it was cut. It's not bleeding now. It was definitely cut, but it doesn't look as bad as I thought. Chuck shouts at me, "Yo, space case. You can stay if you want, but I've gotta lock up and go. Up to you if you're gonna be in or out." I pick up the two halves of my broken shovel. I'm coming. It takes several trips back and forth to carry everything from the van into the courtyard. Rakes, shovels, garbage bags, leaf blower, buckets full of trowels and smaller tools, a cooler full of water bottles, basically anything I might need. Not like I can go back to the van to grab anything once I'm locked in. With my entire arsenal of equipment inside, I'm ready. "What time do you think you'll be done?" Chuck asks. I look over at the pallets full of mulch and flowers that the nursery had dropped off earlier that day. "This is going to take me all day." "Well, I need to know what time to come back to let you out." "You mean you're not staying?" I ask. "No way. I just gotta let you in and let you out. Ain't no reason for me to sit around with my thumb up my ass all day until you're ready to leave. Just let me know what time I gotta come back to let you out." "Well, sundown is about 6 o'clock. Guess that means I'll be finished by 6 at the latest." "All right, 6 it is. Just give me a call if you finish before then, and I'll get over here as soon as I can." "Thanks. If you don't hear from me before then, just come at 6. I'll be ready to leave by then. Worst case scenario, if I don't finish today, I can come back tomorrow." "You better finish today," Chuck says, nudging me in the chest with his finger. "'Cause if you gotta come back tomorrow, that means I gotta come back tomorrow." "Do you really think I want to come back tomorrow?" I ask rhetorically. "Don't know," he shrugs. "Maybe you're one of those freaks that actually likes to work." "Not if I don't have to. Trust me, I have every intention of finishing this job today. And if I'm done early, I guess I'll just sit around with my thumb up my ass till you get here." "Now that's what I want to hear," Chuck says, as he shuts and locks the gate from the outside. I wave goodbye from inside the gate. "See ya later, Chuck." Chuck waves back as he walks away. "Later, have fun in there." I guess I better get started. Normally this place is bustling with the sounds of children screaming and running around, but it's peacefully quiet without anyone else here. From the inside, the architecture of the school reminds me of a prison, which is probably how a lot of the students think of it. That's certainly how I thought of school when I was younger. 4 towering brick walls box in the courtyard. The only way in or out is the gate. At least the vegetation saves this place from looking too dreary. Garden beds line the perimeter of the courtyard. The perennials I'd planted before are still looking healthy, however, none of the annuals had survived the winter. That's to be expected. Oh well. If the pretty ones didn't have to die and be replaced, I'd have a much harder time staying in business. That's essentially what I'm here for, to replace the annuals and refresh the mulch that's lost its color. I start by raking back the old mulch so that I can dig holes to plant the new flowers in, working my way from one edge of the courtyard to the other. I'm nearly finished raking, when out of the corner of my eye, I catch a glimpse of what looks like someone watching me through the window of one of the classrooms. Immediately, I turn my head to look into the window, but no one is there. No one else is supposed to be here today, but me. I walk over to the window to peek into the classroom. It's just an empty classroom. It must have just been a shadow or a trick of the light on the window that looked like a person at a certain angle. I take a drink from my water bottle and continue raking. As soon as I'm done raking, I walk back to the pallet full of flowers and start carrying them to the garden beds, setting them around the perennials where I want to plant them, arranging the different flowers in patterns of alternating colors so that the complementary colors pop next to each other. After I've set a few flowers out, I walk back to the pallet to get more. When I get there, I notice that some of the flower trays have tipped over. It's not windy at all, and I'm fairly certain that I didn't do that. None of them were knocked over when I arrived this morning, or at least I don't think they were. Maybe they were, and I just didn't notice, or I somehow had knocked them over without noticing. I set them back upright. A little bit of soil had spilled out, and a few petals have fallen off, but they should be just fine. I finish setting up the flowers and return to my pile of tools to get my shovel, only my shovel isn't there. I know I'd brought it in. I'd brought every single tool from my van in. I look over my tools again. It's definitely not among them. How did I manage to leave my shovel of all things in the van? Whatever. There's nothing I can do about it now. I grab the trowel out of my tool bucket. This will have to do. Work goes slowly with the trowel. A hole that would take 2 scoops with a shovel to dig takes at least 10 with the trowel. At least most of the flowers I have to plant are small, so the holes I have to dig don't have to be very big. For the most part, the soil is easy enough to dig up. However, there are occasional patches where the soil is especially hard or full of rocks that are particularly hard to scoop out with a measly trowel. Those spots are a bit of a struggle, but I manage. I'm in the middle of digging a hole for a zinnia when the sound of something clanging on the ground echoes from across the courtyard. I jump right up and turn around to look, but don't see anything out of the ordinary. I walk in the direction the sound came from to investigate, only to find a shovel laying on the ground when I arrive at the opposite end of the courtyard from where I was working. I pick it up and inspect it. From the signs of wear on it, I can tell that it's definitely my shovel. Now, I know for a fact I didn't leave this here. Before now, I hadn't even been to this side of the yard today. So why is it here? Is someone messing with me? I thought that no one else was supposed to be here today. I pull the phone out of my pocket and call Pam, walking towards the gate as I wait for her to answer. 5 rings and she finally picks up. Hi, Pam. Sorry to bother you, but I have to ask, is anyone else here at the school with me today? Is Chuck there with you? No, I say, checking the gate to find that it's still locked. Chuck left. He's supposed to come back at 6 to let me out. No one else would be there. Why do you ask anyways? Do you need anything? Oh no, there's nothing I need. I pace the courtyard, looking through the classroom windows as I speak. It's just that I heard some noises and thought that I saw someone in one of the classrooms earlier, so I thought someone else might be here. Well, all the teachers and staff are off over the break, so none of them would be there. The school building is locked, so no one would be able to get in if they wanted to. Her words don't comfort me. I was really hoping that she'd tell me that some of the teachers were here working over the break. I keep pacing, looking in the windows to see if anyone is inside, seeing only empty classrooms. Are you still there? Pam asks. Yeah, I'm still here, I reply. I must be getting paranoid. Just not used to being here all by myself is all. Oh well. Guess I better get back to it if I want to finish before sundown. All right, just call me if you do need anything, okay? Will do. I shouldn't need to bother you for anything else. Oh, it's no bother at all, she says. Talk to you later, Pam. I hang up and get back to work. At least I have my shovel now. I walk back to the hole I just dug for the zinnia, only now the zinnia is gone. I look around to see if I'd set it nearby, but it's nowhere to be found. All I can do without it is fill in the hole back in and rearrange the flowers around it so that there isn't a black spot in the garden. The rest of the afternoon, I spend planting the rest of the flowers. Nothing else strange happens while I'm planting them. Maybe I really was just being paranoid before. When all of the flowers are finally in, I head to the mulch pallet and start hauling the bags of mulch to each edge of the courtyard, pouring them out, and spreading them over the garden beds. There's 80 bags of mulch that need to be spread from one edge of the garden to the other, every bag weighing about 50 pounds each. I down another bottle of water and pull out my phone to check the time. Basically, I have 3 hours to spread 4,000 pounds of mulch by myself. This sucks. Needless to say, I won't be finishing early. If I hustle, maybe I can finish on time at least. I'm sore, hot, and exhausted, but I do not want to come back tomorrow, so I hustle like my life depends on it. For hours, I carry, pour, and spread every single bag of mulch, until finally there aren't any bags left. All that's left to do now is bag up the empty mulch bags and plant containers that I'd littered the garden with, toss all the garbage in the dumpster, then blow all the mulch and dirt that had spilled out of the garden off of the walkway. I only have 20 minutes left, but I can do this. In a frantic rush of energy, somehow I manage to get everything cleaned up on time. I try to catch my breath and drink down another bottle of water. I pour another bottle over my head to cool myself off. I needed that. I'd been going at it for 10 hours, but I'm finally done. I'm going to pass out hard when I get home. Chuck should be here any minute now. I try calling him to see if he's on his way. The phone rings and rings until finally going to voicemail. Perhaps he's just driving and doesn't want to answer while he drives. I sit on the empty pallet and wait, not like there's anything else I can do. The sun is setting. The towering walls around me block out what little sunlight is left, aside from a small strip of light leaking through the gate. The darker it gets, the more anxious I get to leave. I check my phone again. It's already 6:20. He should be here by now. I try calling again. Again, it rings until going to voicemail, so I leave him a voicemail telling him that I'm finished and ready for him to pick me up. I leave him a text as well, for extra measure. Hopefully he sees that I've been trying to get a hold of him. Hopefully he hasn't forgotten about me. I gather my tools up and arrange them near the gate so that I can haul them out quickly as soon as Chuck gets here. While picking my tools up, I notice that my shovel isn't among them. I probably just left it in the garden. Well, I'd better find it before Chuck gets here. I start looking through the garden, searching from one side of the courtyard to the other. It's already too dark to see anything, so I click on the flashlight on my phone and search by what dismal light it provides. The shovel is nowhere to be found. After searching over the entirety of the garden and coming up with nothing, I give up. I'm tired of searching and just plain tired in general. I don't care about the shovel anymore. I'm sure it will show up next time I come by for maintenance. Right now, all I want to do is leave this place and go home. I start walking back towards the gate when the sound of metal clanging on the ground echoes from across the courtyard. "Chuck, is that you?" I shout. "You'd better not be messing with me, because I am not in the mood for that right now." I run across the courtyard in the direction of the sound, shining my light in front of me so that I can see where I'm going. My light shines across something laying on the ground. It's my shovel broken in half. Whatever is going on, it isn't fun. I pick up the pieces of my shovel and shine my light around, looking for signs of life, seeing no one. I turn to head back to the gate. When I get there, all of my tools have been scattered around as if someone had been going through them. Immediately, I call Chuck. Again, it rings until going to voicemail. It's clear now that I can't count on Chuck. I just wish I had known that before letting him lock me in here. I try calling Pam. It rings once and disconnects. The light on my phone goes out. Of course, the battery on my phone would have to die right at that moment. That's just my luck. The sun has gone down entirely by now. There's no light whatsoever to see by. I'm not going to be stuck in here all night. I try to rattle the gate open, but it won't budge. I try to break the lock off the gate by swinging my broken shovel at it. The shovel ricochets off the gate, slipping out of my hand and slicing it open. That wasn't very smart of me. It's so dark that I can't even see how bad the cut is. but I can feel blood pouring out, so it must be bad. In a panic, I rip a sleeve off of my shirt and wrap the wound in it. Obviously, I won't be able to get out through the gate, but there has to be another way out through the school. There's a door on the other side of the gate. I just have to get into the school and navigate my way to that door. One of the doors on this side has to be unlocked. I check the first door I get to. It looks like it only opens from the inside. The next door is the same, and the next, and the next. Eventually, I reach a door that looks like it opens from my side. I push, only to find that it's locked. I keep going, trying every door I can. They're all either locked or don't open from this side. I could go back to the gate and wait for Chuck, but at this point, I don't know if he's even going to come. I'm bleeding too much. The sleeve wrapping my wound is already soaked in blood. Waiting for Chuck isn't an option anymore. I have to get out. I'll have to break one of the windows and get into the building that way, then I can find my way out the other side. I lift my broken shovel and ready myself to smash a window with it, hoping I don't slice open my other hand in the process, but I don't exactly have any other options. I approach a window, ready to swing, only to recoil at the sudden sight of a dark figure standing on the other side. It's too dark to discern any of its features, but I can clearly see that it's really there and it's looking at me. I step back from the window, not taking my eyes off of it. The figure walks away from the window until it's out of view. The door to the room it's in swings open. Every other door to every other classroom swings open. Dark figures emerge from every doorway. Each and every one of them turns towards me and starts walking in my direction. I turn tail and run towards the gate. They follow close behind. I don't dare turn to see how close they are. I reach the gate, grabbing and rattling it, screaming, "Chuck, Pam, anyone, let me out, please, anybody?" They're right behind me. I'm never leaving this place. There's a hand on my shoulder. "Wake up," they say.